Living in the Dust, an interview with a Dust Bowl survivor. Before the dust and winds came, life was pretty good for me. We always had enough food from the extra crops that my dad had from his farming. The dust storms started coming then, but they were not that bad. In the early 1900s, being a farmer made you a good amount of money because the lands were very rich of unplowed soil. Sadly, I was never what my parents had wanted. I was always a long-legged, freckle-faced, red-headed, narrow-hipped girl with a wide mouth and cheekbones like bicycle handles. When I was young, there was once a ball for President Roosevelt nearby where I lived, but Roosevelt wasn't there himself. The money raised from the balls all over the country went to the Warm Springs Foundation, which was where Roosevelt stayed when he was sick. So, my favorite pastime is playing the piano, and my teacher, Arlie Wanderdale, asked me to play there. I was overjoyed because I thought that my ma would finally let me play there. After all, it is for the president. The piano is special to me, so whenever I play it, I feel like my fingers are flying over the keys. It is the one thing that I'm truly good at, and the one thing that makes my parents proud of me. One day, Daddy put a pail of kerosene next to the stove. My mom thought it was water, so she poured it onto the stove. The kerosene erupted in flames, and my mom got scared, so she ran outside to get my dad. I quickly took the pail with the flaming kerosene outside to empty it. As I was running, I accidentally crashed into my mom, and she became a moving column of fire. I pushed her to the ground in an attempt to put out the flames, but I hurt her more than I helped her because after the incident, she was as dry as the dirt in our field. For the next couple of days, my mom had been racing for water all day and night, and Daddy has been helping her, using a cloth to gently squeeze the water into her mouth. My dad also made a tent from bed sheets to prevent the dust from hurting her, and it has been very effective. But last night, he suddenly left. The ladies that came to my house one day kept pointing their fingers at me, saying it was me who splashed the kerosene on my mom, that it was me who nearly killed the baby, but they said it was all an accident. Still, they never said a thing about how my daddy put the pail of kerosene there for no reason and then went off and spent all of our emergency money on drinking. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to feel even more guilty. My brother Franklin was born as Mom was dying. He only lived a little while after he was born, and he didn't even live long enough for Aunt Alice to take care of him. We got new visitors at the school one day. It was a family from a far-off place, and there was a woman that was very close to having a baby. I needed that baby to survive because my brother had died, and I couldn't afford to see another dead baby. The day of the baby's birth, the school was closed. Everybody waited outside in the anticipation of hearing the cry that would announce hope. And then the cry came, and I had to go away for a little while to just walk off the feelings. Later, when I came back, I held the baby girl and studied her perfect little face and felt as if it was Franklin because she was wearing his nightie. I never wanted them to leave. One day, there was a talent show at the Palace Theater, and there were prizes for first, second, and third places. I played the piano for my entry, even though my hands still pained then. When I first sat at the piano, I felt nervous, like I would fail, that I would not be able to play at all, or make a big mistake and everyone would laugh at me. But after I got into the song, my fingers were flying. I was having so much fun that I forgot I was even playing at the packed Palace Theater. In the end, my hands burned, but I was mighty proud of myself. I even won $1 for coming in third. My father was so proud of me that he started to make an effort to get along better with me and kind of break the ice. Daddy has lumps on his neck, just like the lumps that Grandpa had, the lumps that took Grandpa's life. But he wasn't going to dock Rice, so I decided to run away out of the dust. I took a train to a city somewhere far off and then met a smelly homeless man. He looked very hungry, so I gave him my day's supply of biscuits. While I slept that night, he took all of my biscuits, but left me a picture of his family and their address on the back. Then I had a big moment of realization. So I went back home because I didn't see anything better than I already had home. When I came back home, me and my father were happier with ourselves than ever before. It finally seemed that he had accepted who I truly was. Every step I took got me closer to home, and step by step, everything got better. Step by step, I am forgiving him for the pail of kerosene, and as we walk together in the soul-deep dust. Step by step, I was forgiving myself for all the rest, for everything that I had ever done wrong, because it was in the past. Even the dust had started to go away. Now, 20 years after the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression, I am living happily with my family of 4. My daddy is still alive, and he has not had the bumps again from the time Doc Rice cut them out. He, along with my stepmom, Louise, live nearby. All of the farmers in the Midwest are being a lot more careful now about farming the land because they have learned their lesson. I learned that hard times are about losing spirit, hope, and what happens when dreams dry up because now I am a distinguished piano teacher and all of the past is behind me.